Hello, good day. Welcome to our new webinar, Borderline Products in the European Market, Hand Cleanser or Hand Sanitizer. My name is Ima Gamero. I'm Cosmetic Safety Assessor and Technical Director from Cosmeservice. We are a consultant company for regulatory affairs. Today, we are going to give some practical advice to companies wishing to place consumer products on the European market and how to study all the applicable legislation for placing a hand gel, for example, and all the claims and parameters that you need. The duration of our webinar is approximately 30 minutes, and we could appreciate if you write down all the doubts that you may have. And at the end of the presentation, we will be glad to answer your questions at our email address that you can see here in the slide, or through the Cosmeservice website. Borderline products in the European market, hand cleanser or hand sanitizer? This is the question today. And why? Because improving our personal hygiene is one of the main ways to prevent to spread the virus. So it is recommended washing your hands with soap and water, or when it is not possible, cleaning hands with alcohol-based solution or gels. Because of this, the use of hand cleanser and hand disinfectants has increased dramatically in the market, in the European market these days. As a result, most countries experience a general shortage of these products, and a lot of companies, cosmetic companies, want to collaborate. And there are a lot of products, but what is the difference between them? We are going to see now. But first, we are going to see the first part, that is borderline products in the EU market. That is an introduction to know what is a borderline product and how to detect them, because sometimes it may be unclear whether a particular product is a cosmetic one or where it falls to another file. Is my product a cosmetic product in Europe? In the case of this borderline product, the decision of this classification must be taken on a case-by-case basis. We will study the aspect, the function, and all the parameters to take a decision to say yes, it's a cosmetic product or not. And we are going to focus on the definition of the regulation 1223 of 2009 of cosmetic products. We are going to divide in three parts. The first one, the cosmetic product is a substance or a mixture. It is intended to be in contact with the external parts of the human body, nails, lips, hair, of course, the skin, the external genital organs, and also the teeth and the oral cavity, only these application sites, and are used exclusively or mainly to cleaning them, perfuming them, changing their appearance, or correcting body odors. Protecting and keeping in good condition. It is only the primary function that can have our cosmetic product. First, the first criteria is physicochemical form. My product is a substance, a preparation, but all the ingredients need to be in compliance with the cosmetic regulation. And here we can see two examples. First, eyelashes. It is an article. And sorry, it's not a substance of a mixture, a preparation. So we cannot consider eyelashes as a cosmetic product. On the other hand, we have a makeup remover wipe. This is an article releasing a cream. So yes, we can conclude that this product is a cosmetic one. The second criteria is the application site, as we have seen before, only for the external parts of the human body, teeth and oral cavity. It's not possible, for example, to be ingested as the regulation said. For this reason, this type of product attaining activating capsules is not a cosmetic product, because for its use, it is necessary to be ingested. And the third one is the primary function. Consumers with all the information, with the labeling, the claims, the composition, the presentation, have to detect which is the main function clearly. For example, we have two products, temporary tattoos is a mixture, okay, and it's changing the appearance of the skin. So yes, temporary tattoos is a cosmetic product, but a hand sanitizer is a mixture of a substance, okay, but its main function is the disinfection of the skin. So it is not a cosmetic product. However, we have a chance because cosmetic products may have a certain secondary purpose and it is not necessary to be from cosmetic side. So we are going to develop this idea later. When does a cosmetic stop being a cosmetic? As we have said, the assessment is need to be made on the base of the case by case. So taking into account all characteristics of the products. When the product is not matching with the cosmetic definition, it will be classified in another files. So the bordering categories with cosmetics could be found in the following: medical devices, food supplements, medicinal, biocide. All these categories are around cosmetic products, and sometimes it's not easy to know what is the classification of my product. But if I decide that my product is one of these categories, it is no longer a cosmetic product in the most of the cases. Characteristics of a specific borderline product. In this slide, we are going to see a collection of practical cases to be used in order to know the correct classification of the product. First, cosmetics and toys. As you can see there are cosmetics for children cosmetic for children that are also toys. And we need to comply both regulations. It is essential to comply with the cosmetic regulation and the European Toy Directive to be in order with the market. Cosmetic and food. All the borderline products is easier to classify because it's more simple. The application side of food is not possible for a cosmetic product, like food supplements that need to be ingested. They are mutually exclusive. Cosmetics and medical devices. Medical devices are for diagnosing, preventing, monitoring, controlling, and they are not accumulative with the cosmetic legislation. We need to study the main function of my product, and also it is difficult to have a secondary function like a medical device in a cosmetic product. Similarly is the case of the medicines. You know that the main function of a cosmetic is not the same as a medicine. So medicinal products have pharmacological, immunological, or metabolic action. Moreover, it is not easy to justify a medicinal function as a secondary function purpose in a cosmetic product. And finally, we will see the classification that we are more focused in this webinar, cosmetic and biocide. The main function of a biocide is destroying, controlling, and harmful organisms. So a cosmetic product could have this secondary function as a biocide. And sometimes it's difficult to prove, but sometimes it could be easier to do it than another files. So yes, we are going to try this thing as a secondary one. To finish this part, you can find a summary of this category of products that are bordering cosmetic products. In case of doubts, the strictest rules may always be applied. If we have doubts about medicinal products or biocide, it is always the more restrictive one. Okay, so can continue with the second part of our presentation, hand cleanser or hand sanitizer. As we have said before, sometimes we have doubts. We don't know if the product can be classified as a cosmetic or as a biocide and all the process of them. This is the case of hand cleanser and hand disinfectant that are in the moment very important in our society. This is the practical guideline to analyze what products do you want to develop and how to do the process, how to introduce them in Europe successfully. We have prepared a frequently asked questions because this month we have received many questions from a lot of companies. For example, how long is the registration process? Which claims are allowed and which not? Or, of course, if my product is a cosmetic or is a biocide. We need to find the difference because sometimes we can see easier, but there are a lot of difference. We need to classify depending on the name, the function, the mode of action, how to use it, and also it's very useful to know analyzing the label, analyzing the claims. My product is necessary to study in its totality in order to classify in a file or in another one. We are going to start with the key, that is the name for the classification and how it's presented to the consumers. If I want to write it hand cleanser, hand gel, it is under the cosmetic regulation if you don't have any more things. But a product name hand sanitizer or hand disinfectant is always under biocide legislation. The function that we have said is very important. The main purpose is the clear distinction is how sanitizer removes germs while hand cleanser removes the dirt. Products are cosmetic where the primary function of the product is cleaning, and it is necessary to analyze for the consumer's point of view. However, if the activity of my product is to reduce the cross-contamination for the user, is always considered as a biocide. But the proper identification of the primary and the secondary function are essential here for these borderline products. The correct design of the product labeling could give a lot of clues to know if it's a cosmetic product or if it's a biocide. For example, if the biocide function is only secondary and it's inherent to the primary cosmetic purpose, the cosmetic is a cosmetic product. However, not all the claims are possible in your label. For example, disinfectant is not possible to consider as a primary function in a cosmetic product. So it's important to analyze also the primary function of my product and also if we have a secondary one. All of them, of course, need to be justified. Composition. Regarding the composition, alcohol bases are common in these cosmetic products and also in biocide. As both products are formulated for the skin, all the ingredients need to be in compliance with the cosmetic regulation because it's for the skin. And if you want to claim a biocide active substance added, for example, in the label as a claim, the product will be considered always a biocide. Mode of action. We need to study how to use it. Normally, it's the same. It's a hand gel for 20 seconds in your hands, and both of them are intended to be applied in the external part of the body. But if you analyze more, sometimes they are intended to be used in clinical, in hospital, by professionals, and its primary function will be hand disinfection, and it will be regulated for the biocide legislation. In contrast, we can see a daily use for family, for all the family, and this type of products only for cleansing are inside the cosmetic legislation. Claims, marketing claims, they are the best tool for marketing and communication, but it's important to avoid any confusing or misleading advertising for our consumers. It is necessary to do careful selection of these claims because they will influence the decision to classify a product as a cosmetic or as a biocide. Here we can see some examples that we can see if we are doing a cosmetic product or if we are doing a biocide. And also it is very important to keep in mind that all of them, for cosmetic or for biocide, need to have justification, reliable data that says, or studies that says that the properties of the product are real. Here you can see a summary of all these things and the difference. And as you can see, it's a strategic decision to market a product as a type of product or another one. All of them are alcohol-based normally, and all of them are for human hygienic, but you can see that it is a deep analysis that you want to have one or another one. For cosmetic products, compliance and market access can be achieved short-term and limited cost. However, this cannot have a primary biocide claim. And as you know, cosmetic products can be marked on the entire European market, while biocides have to be authorized in each EU member state of the community. It's not easier to do the registration of a biocide because it's more demanding, complex, and time-consuming. But if you decide to do it, please take in mind that you need efficacy tests to confirm that your product has the properties. If the consumer, if the product is safe, you can do it as a cosmetic registration that is easier, faster option. But if you have doubts, for the precautionary principle, you need to register your product as a biocide. The last one, what are the risks of an incorrect product classification? First, we are going to study the consumer risk that are applicable of the safety of the consumers. If you have an unsafe product, if you have an unclear primary function or unproven efficacy of your product, and later we also have cost and delays. If the authorities said that you need a recall of your product or redesign the label, a new registration that could be months, or reformulate your product. So keep in mind when you are going to introduce your product in order to have the correct product classification. Cosmetic EU registration. If you decide to introduce a hand gel for cleansing, we are going to analyze all the points that are needed for the process. The product registration, there are the more relevant steps that are essential to get this process and to introduce your product in the European market. First step would be the PIF. the technical information that confirms that your product is safe or not. If it is safe, you can do the CPMP notification. Step 2 is the portal for all the cosmetic products in Europe. And finally, the step 3 is designating an EU responsible person. And you can do it successfully. Now, we are going to see the step one by one briefly. One is the compilation of the technical documentation required to be placed on the Europe. It is mandatory, the product information file, and it is associated with all the safety affairs of my cosmetic product. The second point is the online network, the online portal of Europe for all cosmetic products that are available, and you only need one notification for 31 countries at the moment. And the third step could be the responsible person. As you know, all manufacturers outside the European Union should be had a person inside of Europe that can contact with authorities if something is required. So it is going to act as your legal or natural person based in Europe. Another steps are the safety studies. We are going to talk briefly about the necessity to perform some studies to ensure that your product is safe and in compliance with the regulation. Microbiological test that is necessary, it's only 3 days. The challenge test, the efficacy of your preservative. Compatibility test in order to know if your container is okay with the formulation. And also the stability test to confirm that your product is safe during the time. But for hand sanitizer and hand gel, because of the high concentration of alcohol, it's not necessary to do a microbiological test or the challenge test, because there isn't any risk, any contamination of risk. So it is a very good point. Moreover, we have clinical studies to justify some frequent claims, and in order to know if my product is irritant and is safe, if the tolerance of the skin is okay, we are going to perform a patch test or an open test if it's an alcohol-based product, and in use test to confirm the daily use of the volunteers, and also to justify claims as easy to use or dermatological test, something like that, or for hypoallergenic. Please keep in mind that you need time for this test, so calculate the time in advance. It could be a very good choice. On conclusion, we have some key takeaways, and we are going to see that classifying a product is not easy as a cosmetic or a biocide, and it's an strategic decision and a business decision. And all these decisions need to be based on some hard arguments. All of them, like the claims, need to be justified, and the presentation for the consumers need to clarify if it's the primary function or not. In case of uncertainty, authorities will decide case-by-case basis based on the characteristic of the product. So we need to take care about all the parameters that we are including in my product. And finally, confirm the compliance of the product, contacting an expert. Cosmeservice, for example, can help you in this topic. And how can we help you? We offer a full assessment in all the related regulatory matters in just one supplier, in just one interlocutor. Moreover, as your safety assessor, we will keep you updated in advance of all amendments of regulation and all the things that you need to do in advance, and which could may affect directly to your products. And in addition, commitment with the COVID crisis in Europe, Cosmeservice offer 100% discount in the support service of the product information file and the notification CPMP to make it easier for the companies to do it in only 1 week. We can do it to register your product always that you have all the requested information, but we could do it very quickly if you need this service. Moreover, get a free consulting service for a month if you need this service. So keep calm and get ready for EU markets. Time to sell. We are going to offer you a reliable support to ensure your products are compliant and make it in the market the most efficient way. Feel free to contact us to discuss all your strategic decisions and all the product details, and we can help you to write and take the best decision. Thank you very much for your attention. It's a pleasure to be with you this day. And if you have any question, please write all your doubts to info@cosmeservice.com, or also to my email, my personal email, that's igamero@cosmeservice.com. We are waiting in our website, and if you need something here, you can find your reliable collaboration. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.